Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Let's get ready for school. So you could probably tell something different about me. I don't have my clips in and my hair is actually back. I tried doing like a slit back, like bun kind of thing. You can't really see the bun, but it's in the back of my head. It's hair wash day, so my hair looks bad. So I was like, you know what, if I can just tie it up, maybe it won't look that bad. So I did, I just like slicked it back. And I have this like gel that I've been wanting to, well, I've tried it before, but not to like slip back my hair. I've done it for like, so when I do I like braiding my hair when I wash it, because then I'll wake up the next morning with like wavy hair. But I don't comb out the waves because I like them to be like full-fledged. But when that happens, like my hair doesn't get combed out, so like this part right here is like sticking up and very like not frizzy, but just like sticking up because I didn't comb my hair. So I like tamed it down with gel, and it made it look a little bit better. So I bought another gel to use for my slip backs and to do that, and it's like the Kendra, I think it's called Kendra or Kenda, something like that. Styling gel. So we'll see how long this holds. It is my short day today, so that's probably a good thing. So we'll see how long this holds or whatever. But tomorrow is Dandelion Day. We get to hear Dandelion by Drake Bell. I'm actually really excited. I liked his last song, which surprisingly, like, not a lot of people did, and that's okay. Like, you have to understand that not every song by every artist is going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it will be someone's cup of tea, and I'm not going to rant about this again because I already did in a video, and if you want, you can go ahead and check that out. It's, if this is the first video that you're seeing of mine and you want to see that, or if you've seen other videos of mine but you didn't see that one, the video is called My Thoughts This Friday. And that's the one where I'm like ranting and stuff about By the Ocean, but I don't overtly say By the Ocean. So, where was I going with this? So, anyway, I thought I would do like a part 2 of the video I made yesterday, which, considering I don't think a lot of people watched it, because I think there's only one view, and I think that one view might be mine, or it might be someone else, I'm not really sure. I think it's someone else. I didn't watch it, but like, if you have a YouTube channel or something, and you accidentally click on the video that you, just posted, it shows as a view. So, I'm like, I don't know if that's a real view, or if it's because I think I accidentally clicked on the video, but I don't remember actually really clicking on it, so we might be fine. Anyway, that might be a real person. But, so, where I'm going with this is I think I'm going to do like a little recap of what I talked about yesterday, and then get into like talking about it again, like a part 2. So for those who didn't see yesterday's Get Ready With Me, or those new, I was talking about the We Are Man Enough podcast that Drake Bell went on after Quiet on Set. And how it got a lot of like mixed reviews, because it did. A lot of people over a lot of platforms, which is kind of also showing a lot, because if it's a mixed reviews over one platform, you could be like, there's potential biases. But if it's over multiple platforms, it's something in the, like, not algorithm, but it's something within the actual program itself, or the podcast itself. Now, I was kind of saying, like, it felt very much like a conversations between a therapist and a client, rather than a person and some random strangers. So, anyway, I won't recap everything I said. You should really go check that video out if you haven't already. So I think I was starting to say yesterday, before I finished my Get Ready With Me, that, like, there wasn't very much of, like, an opportunity of, like, so, like, the end of the interview, the people are all like, oh, well, thank you for sticking through it, you know, like, you were really brave, you stuck through this thing, or whatever it was that they said, and it's like, there really wasn't another option, there wasn't an alternative, and, like, I don't know if anyone, this is a genuine question for anyone watching my videos right now, if you guys have ever seen that We Are Man Enough podcast outside of the Drake Bell episode, let me know if it's any good, because, I don't know, it's not that, like, I didn't like it or think that it wasn't a necessary topic or discussion, I just maybe don't like the way that it was presented, and, like, that's okay, and so, but the only thing is, that makes me not want to go and watch another video, so, I don't know if that's just how they act with every person they have on their podcast, or if it was like they had an agenda, they had potential biases, and they just treated Drake like the way because of it. I'm not really sure. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So if anyone has ever seen this podcast, let me know. I'm not really a huge podcast listener, so I've never heard of it, and I don't think I really will watch it or see it or do anything with it outside of that episode, just because I don't really like it, and I didn't really like the way that the information was given. Guys, it happened again. Somehow it's playing. I don't know how this keeps happening. Okay, anyway, so anyway, I don't know where I was going with this. Like I said before in, like, the previous video, like, it read very much like therapist-client thing. And at least, like, therapists can kind of try to hide biases. Us, people, so, oh, sorry, I forgot about my music. Anyway, so, basically, I guess, it's like, you know, us as people, we struggle a lot more to hide biases if we are not required to. And so, I don't know, I could be very wrong, but I feel like there was a lot of bias in this podcast. Again, I could be so wrong, you guys. And I feel like a lot of people are going to try to use the argument where it's like, well, you're a Drake Bell fan, so immediately you're going to take his side rather than the side of, like, the truth or whatever. But it's like, the way that it was presented was very just, I don't know, it's not even like it feels bad, it just feels, like, I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it, it's just, it's something for you guys to see. So if you've never seen it, maybe I'll link it in the description. I feel really weird doing that though, so maybe I will, maybe I won't. I am gonna have my video that I made for Drake Bell linked in the description, because well, it was made for him, but it's not, like, exclusive to him. I also have a lot of really kind words in there, so if you guys are just in need of some words of encouragement, there's also some, you know, it's filled with words of encouragement, filled with love, so go ahead, check that video out, and also, if you can, try to get it to Drake Bell. So, I might try to link the podcast I'm talking about down below. I don't know, that feels weird. So, I don't know, maybe I won't. But, it's okay. So, anyway, it's just a very odd, so there was a thing that they were talking about, and I don't really remember exactly what they called it, so I'm probably gonna call it the wrong thing, but they called it, like, an emotional hangover or something of that nature, where it's like, because, you know, he was, like, spilling his soul out for everyone to see, in this interview, and that's hard for people to do. I mean, not that they don't want to do it, and not that they want to be closed off, but it's like, it's hard to be that honest and have those kinds of conversations when it is a one-person conversation. I think if it was more plus also if they gave him more control, I think maybe he'd feel a little safer. So, like, the thing didn't even, like, try to give him the resemblance of control or anything. He was just, and I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it could have been presented differently, and maybe that would have changed. Not the outcome, because the outcome, I guess, was good. Even Drake himself said that the interview was good, but it's like, at what cost is, I think, where I'm going to go with that. Because maybe it was a good conversation. Maybe it was a conversation that needed to be held and had. But at what initial cost? Because, like they said when talking about, like, the emotional hangover, they were talking about something where it's like, just, like, stick with it. Like, you're gonna feel this, like, feeling or whatever, but, like, it's okay, it's normal. But I'm like, where do you go from there? It's like, you bare your soul out to the world. You bare your soul out more than once to the world. And it's like, well, where do you go from there? Like, lunch? You go to lunch? Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do from there? Like, who do you go see? What do you go do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm assuming that there was someone from, like, or a good amount of people from his team, like, with him as well. So I'm assuming that, like, that'll kind of help, I guess. But it's like, it's gonna give you this feeling of, like, you know, empty. Maybe not empty, but just, like, a weird feeling. It's like, where do you go from there? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That part was also kind of odd, too. And they were like, oh, yeah, we'll keep in touch and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know. I feel like they may have had potential biases and it played in. And, like, it just read very much like kind of ganging up. Because they didn't even try to, like, present it. And I get, like, there's a way to be firm yet gentle. In a way that's, like, still understanding. Like, meeting someone where they're at. And still being firm. So, like, I mean, the whole, like, point of the, like, interview was to get Drake to take accountability for something. The thing. I'm not gonna say what the thing is. That's the one thing you probably will not catch me doing in these Get Ready With Me's. I probably will not say either thing. Or names. But, you know, if you know, you know. Maybe one day I will. I don't know. But, like, what was I saying? So, like, to take accountability for the thing. If you know, you know. I don't need to actually say it. But that thing. Even though that's kind of what, like, all the interviews were. Which, I don't know. It's like, anyway, that's beside the point. But, that was the whole premise. That was the whole premise. So, there's a way to do that and still be, like, again, like I said, firm but gentle. Like, there's a way to do that but still be considerate of, like, where people are and meeting them where they're at. Because keep this in mind, like, this is going to be a weird way to say this, so keep this in mind that this is going to sound a little odd, but I'm trying to do my best here. These people, I think, have been in therapy for a very long time, or at least a good amount of time. Maybe not a long time, but a good amount. At least more than a year, okay? And keep in mind that Drake's only been in therapy for about over a year, I'm assuming. I feel weird saying this, but it's fine. Like, about over a year. Someone can correct me if that's wrong, by the way. So, and so, like I said, there's a way to be firm and yet be gentle. You can still get your point across without being, like, really, you know, a lot. And I think that's, like, a quality, like, people have. Like, we can meet each other where they're at. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, and I don't think it doesn't get your point across any less. I think it can help get your point across even more because it shows more of a human side. It shows your humanity rather than just, like, you know, what your point is meant to be, I guess. And it didn't feel that way. Well, okay. There was a few, like, basic niceties that were in there, but those were the bare minimum. Like, if you look at the context of what they're saying, those are the bare minimum. Like, if you didn't have that in there, I think people would already be mad at you, because that is, like, the bare minimum of kindness that you could have spared somebody. Like, bare minimum. So, like, I'm not gonna give you a cookie. I'm not gonna give you a gold star for doing the bare minimum. So, and I think also reading a room and trying to understand, maybe you could start in, because you never know how someone is gonna react to what you say as well. Like, we didn't know where, so it goes both ways. Drake probably didn't fully know how the interview was gonna go, and the interviewers probably didn't fully know how Drake was gonna respond. And thing is, that's part of meeting someone where they're at, is being able to read a room and read someone's responses and maybe tone it back if they seem to maybe be uncomfortable. And it's like, the thing is like, you can embrace the uncomfortableness, but also in a way that's still like not like, I don't know, in a way that's still like, I don't know. There's a word I'm thinking of it. I can't think of it right now. But, like, there's a way to embrace the uncomfortableness in a way that, like, makes sense for where the person is at and still meeting them where they're at. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm trying to say here. If you don't, I'm sorry. My brain's a little scatterbrained right now. But, you know, there's a way to do it without, like, I guess purposefully triggering someone. I don't really know. And I'm not saying that they were doing any of that. I'm just saying that they weren't doing the best job of, like, reading the room. Because there were a lot of cues that Drake was uncomfortable. And it's like, if you're going to have a deep and hard conversation, like, if your conversation is going to be a difficult conversation, you have to be able to step into your humanity and talk to people. In the sense where, like, check in with them, like, are you okay with this? Present an idea of, like, hey, maybe we can try this a different way, or we don't have to tackle this question if it might be too difficult. Because a person, like, you gotta meet, again, like I keep saying, you gotta meet the person where they're at, and it didn't feel like they did that. And has he come a long way? Has he made a lot of progress? Yeah. Yes, from where he was probably in 2023. But progress is progress. But, you know, there's still progress to be made. We're ever changing. We're changing every day. People are making progress every day. Where I am today will not be where I am tomorrow. In anything. In life, in an instrument I'm playing, in a book I'm reading, where I am today is not where I'm going to be tomorrow. And that's okay. And that also means that growth happens simultaneously. It happens all the time. It happens day by day. You just grow and just, you know what I mean? Like, people grow. Like, people shape and change as people. And it's a day-to-day process. So where I am 1 minute is not going to be where I am the next. The way I feel about something one day is not going to be the same way I feel about it the next. I think at the end of the day, people just want to be treated like people. And I think that's mostly, like, what I'm trying to say. It's like, there was some humanity shown, but there was a lot of just, like, there was, like, and I get that they were dealing with a heavier topic, but I feel like there might have been potential biases, or just maybe the way that you felt about the person. And it's just, like, it wasn't done in a kind manner. It was, like, the niceties were the bare minimum. Like, they had to do with, like, the baby version of Drake. Like, the little version of Drake. And I'm like, well, if you're not talking about that little kid in a kind manner, then you already got something wrong with you. So, like, I'm not gonna applaud you for doing the bare minimum. Like, that is the literal bare minimum, and you're not gonna get a cookie, and you're not gonna get a star, you're not gonna get applause for doing the bare minimum. It's just basic common decency. So I think if they maybe had stepped into their humanity a little bit, had met Drake truly where he was at, while pushing him a little bit, pushing him in a comfortable way, in a way that still made sense for where he was at in his progress. Because you're not the one that has to help him afterwards. You're not the one who has to deal with okay, so the music is just really quiet right now, but if I try to turn it up, it's gonna end the video. So you're just gonna hear my talking for a while. And sorry. It's like, at the end of the day, you're not the one who has to deal with the fallback. You're not the one who has to deal with what happens afterwards. So I think just like trying to be kind. And I get what they were trying to do. So before anyone says that, like, I get what they were trying to do. And I'm not saying that was bad. Just the way that they did it was probably not the best for where he was at. And I don't know. Someone can feel free to disagree with me, but I don't think I'll be watching any more of their podcast. The only thing that kind of helps is I'm envisioning. I don't know if this is actually the truth, but I'm envisioning like someone. I think it might be Justin from the Luminosity podcast, because he's the one that's in the picture of them being like behind the camera. I'm envisioning someone, like a third party. There's someone from Drake's side there. Now, that could just be wishful thinking, but I'm envisioning someone there just to act as like a, not buffer, but like a mediator, just kind of be someone there on Drake's side, and not just like people that are kind of, you know. Setting spray. Second setting spray. Okay. Lashes, and I'll be back. Okay, one eyelash done, one more to go. Okay, lashes are done, it's time for lips. Okay, this is the final product. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys had a great day. Have a blessed day. Jesus loves you, I love you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Tomorrow's Friday, everybody.